Hi friend, welcome to the live study channel. Today I am going to discuss difference between controller and other REST controller. Okay, so let's start. Actually, let's start with the definition. Then after I will execute the live example. So let's start. Difference between other REST controller and other controller notation in a Spring Boot and a REST full API. Other controller annotation is a Spring MVC is nothing but a combination of controller and response body annotation. It was added into Spring 4.2 to make the development of RESTful web services in a Spring framework easier. Between the web application and REST API is that a response from a web application is generally view combination of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. They are intended for human viewer who well, REST API just return data in form of JSON or XML. Because most of REST clients are programs. This difference is also observed by the controller and REST controller annotation. The controller is to create a map of the model object and find the view. But REST controller simply return the object and object data is directly written in the HTTP response as JSON or XML form. It's a very most important point. Means the controller is a create a map of model object, then find the view. But the request controller simply return the object and object data is directly written in HTML response JSON form. Okay. The controller and the response body annotation, but since this is the default behavior of RESTful web services, in Spring introduced the REST controller, which combination the behavior of the controller and response body together. Some difference is there are some points. Point number one is the controller is combination. Controller is a common annotation that is used to mark a class as a Spring MVC controller, while REST controller is a special controller used in a RESTful web services, and the equivalent of REST controller plus response body annotation. Point number two, the controller is relatively new, added on leave on Spring 4.0. Okay, but the controller is old annotation. Exists since Spring started supporting annotation. Officially, it was added on Spring 2.5 version. About the controller, REST controller, and other Spring 4 annotation in the Spring Boot really make it be developed by the REST APIs with the Spring Boot or Spring MVC. The controller annotation is indicate that the class indicate that the class is controlled like a web controller. The REST controller annotation indicate that the class is controlled where the request mapping method. Assume the response body semantics by default either serving REST APIs. The controller is a specialization of the component annotation, but the REST controller is a specialization of the controller annotation. Okay. So just see the live example. Okay, in a project, see that. Okay, so just see that. I have already created the login controller in a project. So let's check it. I'm using the REST controller. Okay, and request mapping through the URL. Create the function. just request the welcome to the live, welcome to the REST controller. Okay, just save it, just start the server and open the postman. My Spring Boot project has started just with started java64bit application, right? And then start the postman. Shoot the URL. Okay, welcome to the REST controller. Is fine. And just see the another controller is I'm using the rate controller and response body. Just I'm creating the controller class. Class name is demo controller. Okay. Just using the same function. Okay. I'm change the URL APIs slash. Okay. Use the two annotation as a rate controller. Okay. And at the rate response body. Response body. Okay. Let's save it. Close the application and then again restart this application. And also just change the welcome to the controller. Control and controller. Okay. We just pass the string object model. Okay. And then put the message. This was message. The return the welcome to the response. Start the start this application. ओके मेरा एप्लीकेशन स्टार्ट हो गया. एप्लीकेशन स्टार्टेड. देखिए मैं इसको फेच करूंगा. ठीक है, एपीआई पे मैं गेट करूंगा. तो एपीआई के लिए हमारा इस फंक्शन को गेट करने के लिए हमें, क्योंकि हमने क्या किया था, यूआरएल रिक्वेस्ट. क्यों इसको एपीआई लिख रहा हूँ? इसलिए कि हमने वहाँ पे चेंज किया हुआ था. ठीक है, हमने रिक्वेस्ट के लिए चेंज किया हुआ था. तो जस्ट देखिए एपीआई को मैं सेंड कर रहा हूँ. आया. तो हमें दो एनोटेशन यूज करने पड़ रहे हैं ना. ठीक है, वेलकम टू द कंट्रोलर एंड कंट्रोलर मीन्स एट द रेस्पॉन्स बॉडी जस्ट कंट्रोलर. दो एनोटेशन देखिए मैंने फेच किया. 3 सेकंड हुआ, इनिशियलाइज हुआ था सब लोग जैसे. कौन सा पोर्ट है? पोर्ट देखिए, पोर्ट भी देख लीजिए. किस पोर्ट पे? ये पोर्ट. अगर सेम पोर्ट पर अगर जहाँ पोर्ट अगर डिफरेंस किए तो हमारा ये फेस नहीं करेगा. देखिए सपोज करिए मैं गलत पोर्ट यूज कर रहा हूँ, 8080. ओके, देखिए क्या आता है. could not send request. Why? Because of my port number is server port number is not a same as a using M in a project. Okay. So again, I am sending the correct port number, server number. Okay. This one, that's it. ठीक है, मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए हमें दीजिए धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच।